From the WEAC studio in Oxford, you're watching the award-winning Pigskin Roundup on TV 24.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pigskin Roundup here on TV 24. I'm Gerhard Mathangani, joined by Anna Catherine Alderman back here. Anna Catherine, this is a really fun week because this is the week, another week in region play. It really starts to crystallize some of the region races. Of course, we won't get champions, runners-up, 1 through 4 seeds. You don't answer those questions here in September. Right. However, it's still a really interesting time because we get a lot more clarity and a lot more data points in the region plays.
Yes, those 1 through 4 kind of starting to work themselves out, but it is kind of early, so people can still move around, get a couple wins, move up, make the playoffs, make a run for the state championship.
That's everybody's goal. There's 7 to be handed out in the month of December. Meanwhile, we are still in the month of September, trying to figure out who will be going to the playoffs, who will not, and once again, region play a big factor in that. We will start in 7A. Region 3. This is a really interesting region. The top 4 teams in this region were all 2-0. The bottom 4 teams in this region were all 0-2. They all played each other tonight. One of those teams that was 0-2 going into this, Gadsden City. Another team that was 0-2 going into this in region play, Spain Park. But Gadsden City gets a very much needed win over the Jaguars. The Titans winning it 29-26.
Our game of the week this week is Arab at Southside, and Arab goes on the road to beat Southside 24-7. And we'll have highlights later on.
Exactly. That was another important game because both those teams are 2-0 in region play coming into tonight. Another important game in the region was Oxford and Pell City. The Yellow Jackets beating Pell City on homecoming. 35-10 was the final score there. We'll have not only highlights of that, but we'll also have head coach Sam Adams of the Oxford Yellow Jackets joining us tonight on our program. But the Jackets celebrating homecoming with a W.
Number 6, Alexandria getting a big road win tonight. They beat Corner 51-15 to stay undefeated.
Meanwhile, Central Clay County just continues to roll, and credit to Coach Danny Horn and his guys not looking ahead. They have Pleasant Grove coming up next week at the top 5 matchup, and it should be a good one. But they take care of business tonight on the field. Central Clay County 35 and Beauregard 0.
Lincoln getting a win tonight, 14-0 shutout, and St. Clair County still looking for their first win this season.
Meanwhile, Holtville getting the best of Talladega today. Final score in that one, the Bulldogs 31 and Talladega 22 over in Holtville.
Battle of the Tigers tonight at Hanley. Cleveland County getting their first loss this season. On the road, Hanley wins at 26-7.
Munford is not an easy place to go on the road and get a victory, but that's what Jacksonville did tonight. Final score in that one, 35-12. The Golden Eagles now 3-2 on the season, and they continue to keep their name close to the top of that region race.
Another shutout tonight. Etowah Blue Devils shutting out Asheville at home, 28-0.
How about back-to-back shutouts on our scoreboard tonight? Cherokee County over White Plains. The Warriors going to White Plains, picking up the victory. Final score 40-0 with the Warriors.
Number 2, Piedmont setting a new school record tonight for the most points scored in a single game. They win it at home 70-13 over Weaver.
I wonder if that offense was kind of gunning for that. The previous score was 68. They put up 70 tonight in that big win over Weaver. Meanwhile, a very low-scoring game. This was a 1-point game, 8-7 at 1 point, but Sachs does tack on another score to go ahead and win it 16-7 over Ohatchee. That's another tough place to go get a win at the Creek Bank in Ohatchee. Ohatchee playing without its head coach, Scott Martin. Sachs Wildcats 16, Ohatchee 7. That's a big win in Class 3A Region 5.
Another Class 3A Region 5 matchup. Pleasant Valley and Walter Welborn. Walter Welborn getting a big win at home, 57-14.
That was a much-needed win there for the Panthers. Meanwhile, Hoax Bluff and Glencoe playing tonight. This is another shutout, and this is a very, very intense rivalry between Hoax Bluff and Glencoe. 2 really proud programs and 2 really proud traditions. But Hoax Bluff gets the win 48-0. And we are scheduled to speak with head coach of the Eagles, Mike Robertson, tonight here on Pigskin Roundup.
In 3A tonight, Sylvania getting a win at home over Collinsville, 35-7.
At last check at halftime, Dadeville hold a lead over Childersburg at scores 12-6. Once again, that is a second half score. Late in the third quarter, we'll look to get you a final score coming up a little bit later on our program.
Number 3, Spring Garden falling their first loss this season to Cleveland Panthers. The Cleveland Panthers win 20-13.
Cleveland is a really good football team, and this might have determined that region, so we'll see how they go moving forward. Another kind of upset on the board with our teams here today. B.B. Comer and Ramburn. B.B. Comer getting the win over Ramburn tonight. Final score 55-28.
Southeastern playing on the road at number 7 Sandrock, getting the win, staying undefeated, 32-28.
Meanwhile, Westbrook Christian getting a much-needed victory over Locust Fort. A big one, 41-13 over the Hornets.
Another big win tonight. Vincent on the road at Fayetteville, getting the win, 48-21.
Meanwhile, Coosa Christian, 10 points better than Appalachian. The Conquerors getting the win at home, 42-32. It's a big region win for them.
Woodland with their first win this season against Donahoe. Big win for them at home. Another region game, 50-27 Bobcats.
I was one of a lot of people that said, when are we going to have Wadley in the state rankings? They've been looking really solid. Well, last week they cracked the rankings into the top 10 at number 10. They run their record now to 5-0 with an impressive win over a very good Winterboro football team. Final score in that one, 43-22.
TCC and Victory were playing tonight, and we are still looking for a score from this 1A Region 5 matchup.
We'll try to get you that score as this night moves along. Meanwhile, a game you saw right here on WOTM last night, Opelika and Carver Montgomery. Opelika getting the win in a very rain-soaked game in the Montgomery area. Opelika 28, Carver Montgomery 6. We'll have highlights of the way that one unfolded from the state capitol coming up a little bit later on our program. So thank you so much for joining us for Pigskin Roundup here on Friday night. Thank you to Team 1 Automotive for sponsoring our program this evening. There's several ways that you can watch our show. You can watch it on television, on TV 24 and WOTM. We also are on YouTube Live. Just search for Pigskin Roundup or hook up with our Facebook page. You'll see the link there. Watch the show live. You can also hook up with our Twitter page as well. We post the live links there as well. So if your friends do not have TV 24 or WOTM on the terrestrial TV, you can check us out online.
Absolutely. There's a lot of good stuff on our social media featuring our Player of the Week, and some scenes from tonight's Oxford-Pell City game are also on Twitter and Instagram, so you should go check those out, pigskin_roundup.
100%. Before we leave you in this first segment tonight, we do want to ask that you wish and that you pray for the Alexandria family. It's a community that's been hit hard this entire football season, and they were hit hard again this past week with the passing of assistant coach Trez Payne. Coach Payne was one of the guys that I remember anytime I used to cover an Alexandria football game. He was always on the sideline with a smile. He was one of the favorite not only teachers but coaches at Alexandria High School. He was not only a teacher there, but he was also a proud player there in the 1980s, won the state championship in 1985. He coached the offensive line for 16 years at Alexandria High School. He was a history teacher. They loved him, and they commemorated him with this, the commemoration at the school. And then also on the helmets tonight, there you see honoring Coach Payne as well as Layton Ellison. You might remember Mr. Ellison passed away. Wearing number 55 for Ellison, the TP for Coach Payne, as well as the OG on your left-hand side for Olivia Grace. That is the daughter of Alexandria High School principal Jason Deason. She was born at 28 weeks old, weighing 1 pound and 1 ounce. She continues to fight. She's been around for 52 days. She continues to fight. Meanwhile, Principal Deason says that Coach Payne was the epitome of everything at Alexandria. We, of course, are praying for that community tonight here on the Pigskin Roundup. We ask that you do the same. We'll be back with more next.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader in serving this area simply by the number of employees we have on board. And we're looking for career-minded people to join us. So if you're interested in a long-term employment opportunity, come in and see any of our Team One dealerships for more information. So check us out now and apply online at teamoneconnect.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Hey folks, this is George Brunner with Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac. Superior offers a full lineup of new GMCs, Cadillacs, and Hyundais. Between our 2 locations in Anniston and the one in Pell City, we have a great selection. Superior has the best selection of used trucks I've ever seen, and I've been doing this a long time. See all our vehicles at our new website, SuperiorAlabama.com. That's SuperiorAlabama.com. Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac, where you're always more than just a number.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
This is your invitation to shop Team One Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team One Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at teamonenissan.com.
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup here on TV 24, brought to you by Team One Automotive. Another one of our fine sponsors is Cutter's Pizza and Wings. They brought us some pizza tonight. We've had some wings. Their food is absolutely fantastic. 2 locations, one in Alexandria, one in Oxford to serve you. We thank Cutter's Pizza and Wings for their fine sponsorship of our program here tonight on the Pigskin Roundup. And on our show, we are so happy to be joined tonight by the head coach of the Hokes Bluff Eagles, Coach Michael Robertson. And Coach and I, we text back and forth, usually throughout the course of the off season, usually try to catch up in the spring and sometimes in the summertime. Didn't get a chance to this past year. So glad we have a chance to catch up with him now as the season rolls along. First off, Coach, you got a big win today over a big rivalry game. Talk about the way tonight's game played out. I know you guys were on the road. The rivalry games usually always play out a little bit differently than from other ones. Congratulations on the win. Talk about tonight's performance.
Well, I appreciate all the kind words there, and I enjoy talking with you. And you're right, it's fun to talk with you in the summertime where I'm a little more relaxed than I was this week. But it was a good win. Our guys, we played a really good game. Glencoe's got some injuries and down a little bit, but we did what we're supposed to do. When you play a team that you're supposed to beat, we came out early and dominated the game on both sides of the line play, and got a good lead and got to play everybody, and really just a good win, a region win, and puts us 2-1 in the region. And it's one of those games, if you're going to make the playoffs, you've got to beat the team that's, I guess you say the middle of the road teams on your region play.
Exactly. Number one, you have a really tough schedule, and you've known this, and you've known this region, this area. You've known high school football in the state of Alabama for a very long time. You know what championship football looks like, not only in your region, but just the way your teams have played over the years. The way this season is played out so far, is it kind of what you expected? Maybe are you surprised in any one way or another?
Well, since we went back 3A, but this region's kind of top-heavy, and there's about 3 of us in the middle probably, and then a couple suffered some injuries and just a couple of weaker teams, but we're a middle of the road team. Obviously Ohatchee put it on us pretty good last week in our other region game, and we beat Pleasant Valley, but we've gotten better. I know it's hard to think that in that we've gotten beat twice by Southside and Ohatchee, but our guys have improved. We're playing some 9th graders and some 10th graders, not to make excuses, but them guys I can see some light at the end of the tunnel, Gerhard, and hopefully they'll keep improving. But, Piedmont, Sachs, Ohatchee, Wellborn, I think they're the top 4 teams. we hope we can sneak in there somewhere, but we're going to have to keep improving to do that, though.
Who are some of the guys that you are looking forward to as far as counting on this year? I know you have a really young core, and high school football is cyclical. So we all know that it's not professional football where you can keep the same guys for years and years. But what about your team this year? Who are some of the guys that you've called upon to lead this Eagles unit?
Well, I mentioned we're playing some young guys, but we have some really good seniors, and I want to compliment them. Tucker Griffin, our tailback. Tucker had a big night tonight, a couple of long runs. Then we've got 3 senior offensive linemen that have played well, but we had to rebuild at linebacker, a couple of new secondary guys, and but our seniors have done a tremendous job. And when I say that, Gerhard, when you win, everybody's happy and all that, but we were 1-2 going into tonight.
Right.
But our practices have been good, and that's a reflection. Hopefully, I've got great assistant coaches. All them guys; they've all played for me, and the assistant coaches and our seniors did a tremendous job. I thought we had a good week last week, but Ohaji just lined up and beat us. And but I thought we played better last week. The score didn't indicate that, but we really moved ahead a little bit more, even in far as practice goes. Just with a good attitude, act like I always tell them to act like you want to be here. I don't sound like Coach Saban, but act like you want to be here. And try to get better. And we did that this week. And obviously, Glencoe's. They've got some injuries, like I said, and they're down a little bit in some areas on our team. But I thought we played with intensity, a caring of what was going on, and I'm really proud, like I said, of seniors. But Tucker, J.R. Golden, a couple of linemen, Ian Stinson, I can name some more. Mason Lockery. These guys have played for 2 or 3 years, so our seniors have really done an outstanding job. So I want to really mention them probably more than anything.
Exactly. And it's always good to have leadership, especially when you have a really young core. Now,
That's
Coach,
right.
I want to ask you a big picture question. You've been in this game for 20-plus years, and everybody talks about how you ask people of different generations, maybe 3 or 4 generations ago, and you're looking at the high school football players now. What has changed the most from the way you coach now in 2021 as compared to the way you were coaching when you first started out?
Well, these guys all played for me. 3 of my coaches played on the state championship team, and they've seen me, I guess you say, grow as a head coach. And every once in a while they'll reflect back to when they played. I think kids still like playing football.
Right.
Obviously, rule changes have changed the game. It's more spread. But, I'm still old-fashioned, Gerhard. I still want to run the ball. We did tonight. I think we completed 2 or 3 passes. But I think the game's still pretty close. I do as far as it used to be. They've changed some of the blocking things you can do. And most of the rules have been for safety, which is always good. But, I don't see a lot of change. Now, as far as I go, again, I'll start talking about me too much here, but I've changed some. I reflect back now when I first started coaching, and when you're trying to establish yourself with a reputation of knowing what you're doing, and, of course, that comes from having good players, having some wins under your belt. I really wanted to be more relaxed, but I have to admit, my wife told me I was probably more nervous this week than I've been 2 or 3 years. And I don't know why, but, we play Glencoe. It's a rivalry game. We want to always win that game. It's just, communities are so close. But I was nervous, but I still get nervous, Gerhard. I guess that's why I'm still coaching. But I really enjoyed it now. And I will say this. 2 things have changed with me a little bit. Mm-hmm. When we have players injured now, I seem to take it harder than I used to. I don't like to see players on either team now, Gerhard. I guess I'm older. I'm a grandfather. And when kids get hurt, especially a knee injury, or we had a kid that had to have ankle surgery this week, and that affects me a little bit because football's a tough sport. I know injuries are going to occur. And then I'll probably look at a kid now a little bit more about his future, when that comes with the injury part too. But, getting an education, but I'm really enjoying right now. And Coach Danny Payne, who's, helped me so much in my career. But Coach Payne used to tell me, Gerhard, you're going to really enjoy when the players come back, they've got a wife and kids. And
right.
They say, thanks, Coach Rob. And that's I'm enjoying that a lot now. Not that I want that or need that, but I do appreciate players coming back, seeing me, and I've been just so lucky over here, Hart. I've just had good coaches, good administrators, great players that's played for me with a lot of heart. So, but I don't know. I've covered a lot of areas there, but I don't know if the game's changed that much. Kids still want to win and compete.
Exactly, and you do a great job with them, and obviously your heart is still in it, and that's the reason why you love it and your community loves you. And one of the things that I've always really loved is the coaches that stay in high school football, and you're one of those that have really built men and solid family guys. You've been in the community for a very long time. You're able to affect generations, and you kind of see that ripple. You see the stone and you see the ripple, and you're kind of you're one of that. You're one of a very select few that have been able to do it for a very long time. Obviously, you and I have been friends for a really long time. I appreciate you always, and especially tonight, and best of luck down the road.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and like I said, it ain't been about me. It's about my players and coaches, and you're right, the community, we got great support there. And I've just been very, very lucky, and I'm going to do it a few more years, Gerhard. Everybody keeps asking me this summer, when you going to retire? I told my wife one day, I said, are they wanting me to retire? They keep asking me, but I still enjoy kids, as long as I feel like that me and my coaches are making some kind of contribution to their lives, and keeping them in school and understanding that life's past football. Something, it'll pass football well, but your life goes on. But I appreciate the kind words, and I enjoy your friendship, Gerhard. Thank you.
100%. I know some people ask, hey, about how long you're going to stay in the game. There's 3 people on 3 levels of football I don't ask about their longevity. They'll stay in the game for forever. In the NFL, it's Bill Belichick. In college football, it's Nick Saban. In high school football, it's Mike Robertson. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show.
100%. Thank you so much, Coach. Coach Mike Robertson of the Hoax Bluff Eagles joining us tonight on the Pigskin Roundup. Thank you so much, Coach. Now let's jump into some highlights here on our program. Our first stop is at Oxford. The Oxford Yellow Jackets celebrating homecoming today. And before we got into the football action, we had homecoming. And so one of the big things you have the homecoming queen. We will properly announce who the queen was in a different part of our show, and we will let you know why coming up in just a little bit. But it is football time. It is Pell City and Oxford meeting, and Oxford won 8 straight games going into this against the Panthers. Meanwhile, Oxford on the move in the first quarter. Damius Wilson on the carry, 28-yard pickup and a first down. A few plays later where Sam Robertson going to screen pass. It's Jaden Dobbins, and the freshman does the rest. Watch this little stiff arm. Boom, right there. Early 7-0 lead for Oxford. That's all the scoring we got in this one. So Pell City's next possession, handoff to the big running back, Dante Reese. Reese cuts it to the outside. Sneaky fast there. Picks up 18 yards and a first down. But the Oxford defense able to hold them to this field goal attempt, and it is no good. So the Yellow Jacket defense hold them to 0 points on that drive. Not much happening after that in the first half. Both defenses really stepped up. That's Oxford's Emmanuel McClooney with the sack, and the Panthers defense doing the same thing, stuffing the run here. Very little scoring, as I said, in that first half, but the Jackets really pick up the pace in the second half. They go on to win it. Final score 35-10. We'll get some of the details of this highlight and of this game coming up tonight as we talk with head coach of the Oxford Yellow Jackets, Sam Adams, in just a bit. So congratulations to the Jackets winning their 3rd game of the season. Meanwhile, also winning tonight on homecoming, and we'll have a little bit more on that coming up in just a little bit on our program. Stay tuned. The Pigskin Roundup continues here on TV 24 and WOTM.
Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team 1, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
If you need a new vehicle and think you can't get financing, Team One can help. If you make $350 a week, Team One can finance you. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, Team One can finance you. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Welcome back to the Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team One Automotive. In our last segment, you saw the highlights of the Oxford football game against Pell City, and tonight we are so glad to be joined by Oxford head coach Sam Adams. First of all, Coach, 7-0 at halftime. You really turned on the Jets there in the second half. You won it 35-10. Break down the way this game went today and picking up that big region win.
Well, it was a huge second half for us. Really, we came out at halftime. We thought we were getting a lot of stuff that we wanted to get. We were just struggling with penalties, basically. Just kind of stopping ourselves after the first drive. We went down and scored, and then each drive after that, we'd have a penalty that got us way behind the sticks. And we played that a little bit in the second half, and really pounded the ball at them. And I was really proud of how physical our guys played on both sides.
Coach, when we talked earlier this season, before the first week, you mentioned that you're kind of trying to raise your energy level. And after being on the sideline tonight, I definitely could see a lot more energy. So what are you doing to kind of keep that energy level up moving into the rest of the season?
Well, that's something that we've talked about a lot every single week. And, I think early on in the year with us playing so many young guys, we had so much uncertainty, really from the top to the bottom. We had so many guys that are getting their experience as freshmen, and we have one 8th grader that plays a lot of varsity action, and sophomores. And, I think now what you're seeing is those guys are just getting a little bit more comfortable in their roles on the team, and I think they're starting to build trust among each other, and hopefully we can just continue to build on the success that we had tonight.
Exactly, Coach. You play in a really, really tough region, and we saw it once again tonight. What are some of the challenges you've seen so far as you've played number one in the region and in those non-region contests?
Well, the non-region contests we probably play the most difficult non-region schedule in the states. Thompson's number one in 7A. Pleasant Grove is one of the top teams in 5A, and next week we have a really good Gadsden City team out of region, and finish up the year with Central Phoenix City in week 10. That's I would imagine a top 5, 3, 4, 5 in 7A. But playing those teams really prepares us when we get into region play. When you play teams like that, you find out every wart that you have on the team. You definitely know what your shortcomings are and know what you have to work on. And then getting into region play, we started off really well against Scottsboro a few weeks ago, and then had a setback last week against a very much improved Southside team. And, with this win, that puts us really back in the running for a possible region championship. I know Arab had a win over Southside tonight, and, now we just got to take care of our business, and, hopefully some of the tiebreakers end up going our way if we can do that against a bunch of good teams. And we're just playing each game, trying to set ourselves up for a good playoff seed.
Exactly. Really, any first year is different for any coach, no matter what level, whether it's high school, college, professionals. What has been different so far? Some of the things you might have expected, some of the surprises here as you really lay down the foundation of what you want to with the Yellow Jacket football program.
Well, tonight, here's an example. DK Wilson, a freshman running back who's been playing up with us for about 3 weeks now, had 14 carries for 125 yards. And, you have other stories that are similar to that, guys that, probably came into the year thinking they were going to be playing freshman football or really getting a lot of snaps on JV that had kind of been thrust into varsity roles. And, when you're doing that, you're going to have some bumps along the way. And, right. But I couldn't be prouder of our whole team, really. Aside from those young guys, we have, 11 seniors. That's not a big class, but there's some really good football players in there and guys that have been in the program for a long time and have really kind of paid their dues, and they're being great teammates and, continuing to fight it out every single week. And, and among those 11 seniors, we've had some guys with injuries. So, we've had several running backs go out. tonight. As I mentioned, D.K. Wilson was a freshman. Jaden Dobbins scored a touchdown from the running back spot. Another freshman. Miguel Mitchell, who by trade is a star defensive back and plays some receiver. He came to us on Monday, understanding that we needed help in the running back department, and he asked if he could play some running back. He broke a long run late in the game, and so you're just starting to see a lot of unselfishness. Nick Merriweather had a touchdown late in the game. He started at linebacker for us. So, when you have 4 different guys score touchdowns from the running back spot, I mean, that tells you have a lot of guys that are starting to play for each other.
Exactly. Final question before we get you out of here. Gadsden City next week, Pell City this past week. You're getting to know a little bit of these rivalries here for Oxford High School. What's your message to the team after you had this big win, you celebrate this win, and then you go on next week over to Gadsden City, another big rivalry here in East Alabama?
Yeah, well, I mean, any game you play, you have a lot to learn from. So we have to figure out, what did we do well? What can we build off of and continue to improve on? And then, also find out, we won 35-10, and that's great, but there's also reasons out there why we didn't win, 49 or 56-10. Right. So there's always things to clean up. For us specifically, just looking at tonight's game, we had a lot of penalties. We had over 100 yards of penalties. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we definitely have to clean up moving forward. And, we're going to have to play even better next week to have a shot against a really strong Gadsden City team.
Exactly. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Your team is getting better and better, and we love to see them, number one, do that, and then we'll see where they are towards the end of the year. Coach Sam Adams, thank you so much for joining us here on the Pigskin Roundup.
Thank you very much. Go Big O.
Go Big O indeed. The Oxford Yellow Jackets getting the win at homecoming, 35-10. Your final score. Coach Sam Adams with us here tonight. All right, we'll go to more highlights here. This is a game from last night. Coach, he coaches in 6A in one region. We had 6A in Region 2 yesterday over in the south part of the state, over at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. Opelika and Carver Montgomery at Crampton Bowl. This game was our AHSAA WOTM game of the week, dominated by Opelika early on. The rain really dictated how this game was called because they had to run the football, and they run the football indeed. They did with Caden Cooper, 124 yards, 37 carries, 2 touchdowns, including that one right there. After a long rain delay, that defense for Opelika continued to really step up. In the second half, Carver picked up its first score of the game, and they did so via the defense. Pass picked off by Jaquarius Thomas. How about a 100-yard pick six? A 14-6 lead at that point, but Opelika seals the deal with a couple of fourth-quarter touchdowns. Calvin Hughley capped it off with this touchdown run right here. Opelika stays perfect in the region with the big win. Final score in that one was 28-6. So the Bulldogs remain perfect. This was 2 teams in this region that were perfect. The other team was Russell County. So Opelika with at least a share of the lead as they move forward, and the head-to-head over Carver Montgomery. Carver's a very good football team. Lots of talent that have SEC offers already, both for Opelika and for Carver. Really talented football teams, but it is the Bulldogs picking up the 28-6 win to stay atop that region, and most importantly, with a 0 still in the loss column as far as it relates to the region. Meanwhile, our game of the week coming up next week. Perfect segue, Anna Catherine. It is the Oxford Yellow Jackets and Gadsden City Titans. And you heard Coach just talk about it just a minute ago. This game is really important not only for this football team, but also as they try to continue to move up in the rankings and get themselves in a position where they feel more confident as they move forward in their region play. The Oxford Yellow Jackets on the road on a short week going to Gadsden City. And Anna Catherine, that's one of several games that will be featured right here on our Thursday night WOTM AHSAA Game of the Week. Oxford and Gadsden City is one of them. But going down the list, we have several more.
Yeah, excited to see that Oxford-Gadsden City game next week. And going forward, the next week, Oak Mountain at Spain Park, Faith Academy at Viger, Mountain Brook at Homewood, and then still to be determined on that Week 9 game, but Week 10, Oxford again at Central Phoenix City.
These are great matchups here on Thursday nights here on WOTM, also on TV 24. We'll have those matchups for you in our AHSAA Game of the Week, starting next week with that Gadsden City Oxford game that you heard Coach Adams talk about just a minute ago. Well, coming up next here on our program, we'll get you some more scores, also get you some highlights. Our Game of the Week is coming up next over from the South Side area. That and more coming up next on Pigskin Roundup.
This is your invitation to shop Team 1 Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team 1 Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at team1nissan.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hey folks, I just want to remind you all that Team 1 Automotive is proud to be a part of Pigskin Roundup, proud to be a part of this community, and we want you on our team. Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team 1, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Welcome back to Pigskin Roundup on TV24 and WOTM, brought to you by our friends at Team 1 Automotive. We had a bunch of rain in the skies last night. Affected some games last night, also affected some games today. So in case you didn't see the scores at the top of our program, we'll shoot you the scores quickly right here. We'll start with the Gadsden City Titans, who picked up a much-needed win over Spain Park, a 3-point victory on the road in the Hoover area. The Titans 29, Spain Park 26.
Our game of the week, Arab at Southside. Oh. No, that's the Pell City Oxford. Oh, there we go. Arab getting the win at Southside, 24-7, and we'll have highlights in just a minute.
Oxford getting that big win over Pell City. You just heard from head coach Sam Adams earlier. A nice win over the rivals, down I-20, 35-10 Jackets.
Number 6, Alexandria getting a big win on the road to stay undefeated, 51-15 over Corner.
Central Clay County continues their push for a state championship. They have a big one next weekend, but they took care of business tonight. 5-0 on the year after a 35-0 win over Beauregard.
Lincoln getting the shutout on the road. St. Clair County still looking for their first win this season. That final score was Lincoln 14, St. Clair County 0.
A tight win over in the Holtville area. Holtville 31, Talladega 22. Talladega still looking for that first win of the season. Meanwhile, Holtville now runs their record to 4-1.
Another big game tonight. Cleveland County on the road playing number 1 Hanley. Cleveland County with their first loss this season. Hanley wins 26-7.
Meanwhile, Jacksonville and Munford over at Munford tonight. Jacksonville with the big win in the region, 35-12, your final score for Munford.
Another shutout tonight. The Etowah Blue Devils getting a win on the road at Asheville, 28-0.
Meanwhile, Cherokee County with an impressive win. Coming down Highway 9, the Warriors 40-0 over White Plains.
Big win for number 2 Piedmont at home to stay undefeated and set a school scoring record, 70-13 over the Weaver Bearcats.
It's a very tight region race, and a tight football game between Sacs and Ohatchee. Sacs with the win, 16-7 at the Creek Bank.
Big win for Wellborn at home, first win this season, 57-14 over Pleasant Valley.
We spoke with a very happy head coach for the Hoax Bluff Eagles, Mike Robertson, earlier. They got a big win over their arch rivals from Glencoe. Final score 48-0.
Collinsville playing on the road at Sylvania tonight. The Rams with the win, 35-7.
Meanwhile, Dadeville with the win over Childersburg. Not sure if it's a complete finish yet. Actually, we do know it's a complete finish. Dadeville over Childersburg. Last score we had was 12-6, 33-6. An impressive run, especially impressive defense by Dadeville, shutting them out in the second half.
An upset tonight as number 3 Spring Garden gets their first loss this season to the Cleveland Panthers, 20-13.
Meanwhile, Sandrock also upset. We'll have that score in just a bit. BB Comer over Ranburne. BB Comer 55, Ranburne 28. Both teams now 3-2.
Westbrook getting a big win for Sandrock, number 7, falling, getting their first loss this season. Southeastern gets the win 32-28.
Meanwhile, the score we had earlier, Westbrook Christian 41 and Locust Fort 14. The Warriors picking up a much-needed victory today in region.
Vincent playing at Fayetteville tonight, getting the win 48-21.
Meanwhile, a nice game in Class 1A. Exclusive Christian, a 10-point victory over Appalachian 42-32.
Another 1A game tonight, Woodland getting their first win, big win over Donahoe, 50-27.
Very dangerous team out of Class 1A in the north. There's a lot of talent down south, a lot of good teams down south, but keep your eyes out on Wadley. They're now 5-0 after a 43-22 win over a very good Winterboro team.
And late in the second half, victory beating TCC 49-0.
And highlights you saw a little bit earlier, Carver Montgomery and Opelika hooking up at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. Opelika with a big second half, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They pick up the region win in our AHSAA WOTM Game of the Week, seen right here last night on WOTM. Well, AC, at this point of our show, we always like to crown our Player of the Week. And our Player of the Week this week, you saw and heard from in the highlights last week. Then you saw and heard from him last week with our good buddies, Buckethead and the King. Meanwhile, their program coming up right after Pigskin Roundup, high school primetime. It was their Player of the Week. Carbon Copy, our Player of the Week as well, and deservedly so.
He had an awesome game last week against Munford. I went to practice on Wednesday, got to chat with him, and we did some rapid fire questions. You can check those out on our Instagram and TikTok. Kind of, sort of the same thing, some fun questions. Here he is on our holographic. But yeah, those same questions like, do you like pineapple on your pizza? Spoiler alert, his answer was no. So go check that out on our social media.
Congratulations, Kyler McGrin, a huge game. Let me break down his game for you. He had a monster game. 381 total yards and 6 total touchdowns in that big 47-20 win over Munford. They were undefeated after that big matchup. He also had 181 yards on the ground, passed for 200 yards. So you heard from him on Tuesday with Buckethead and the King. You will also hear from him on our social media pages as AC hooked up with Kyler earlier, talk all about his favorite games, favorite everything. So to learn more, a lot more about Mr. McGrin and the Cleveland County Star, check out our social media pages. Also be sure to continue watching right here on WOTM and TV24 for high school primetime coming up right after our program here tonight. Well, we go from our Player of the Week, AC, to our Game of the Week, and it was a good one.
Game of the Week. It was a good one. 6A Region 7 matchup tonight at Barney Hood Stadium. Southside Panthers taking on the Arab Knights. Both teams are coming off of a region win last week, and we're getting to the point of the season where region games matter. See Panthers head coach Miles Holcomb, and he's coming off of a historic win over the Oxford Yellow Jackets last week. And these two teams are looking for their win. So first quarter, the Knights come out hot. James Johnson pass to John Johnson and for the Arab touchdown. They go up early, 7-0. You see him sneak right by the pylon in the corner of the end zone there and celebrating with his teammates. And in just a second, you'll see him give a little look to camera and a little shh. A couple drives later, the Panthers trying to drive down the field, and Caden McMichael, great catch, can't stay in the field. So second quarter, intended for Cody Roberts, but Hayden O'Reilly grabs it right out of the air. Then there you see Ethan Light with a big sack, and the Southside Faithful dressed up for the game tonight. Johnson showing his toughness, delivers a pass to John Johnson again. Nice spin move there. They can't score, so Gavin Courier with a field goal. It's 10-0 Arab. Southside just can't get it going in the first half, so it was 10-0 the half. Final score there, 24-7, Knights with the win.
Coach Lee Osmond and those Knights, a very, very impressive win. This is a really good Southside football team. We spoke with head coach Miles Holcomb of the Panthers earlier this year. They got a big win on the road at Oxford last week, and then you saw what Arab did tonight. This is a region to watch out for. I think this is a very well-coached region between Coach Adams that we talked to earlier tonight, Coach Lee Osmond, who we've known for a very long time, both at Arab and also at Glencoe when he was in the East Alabama community. That's a very impressive win by Arab on the road over a very good football team. Well, coming up next here on Pigskin Roundup, a couple of more highlights to get your way. We'll also have some bonus coverage, so keep it locked right here on Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive.
This is your invitation to shop Team 1 Nissan in Albertville. Everyone likes doing business with people you know and trust. Our entire staff at Team 1 Nissan is people that work and live right here in our community. People that are your neighbors. So when you're shopping for your next vehicle, shop where you get hometown service. And speaking of service, our staff is here to serve you. Check us out at team1nissan.com.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Hey folks, this is George Brunner with Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac. Superior offers a full lineup of new GMCs, Cadillacs, and Hyundais. Between our two locations in Anniston and the one in Pell City, we have a great selection. Superior has the best selection of used trucks I've ever seen, and I've been doing this a long time. See all our vehicles at our new website, SuperiorAlabama.com. That's SuperiorAlabama.com. Superior Hyundai and Superior GMC Cadillac, where you're always more than just a number.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader in serving this area simply by the number of employees we have on board. And we're looking for career-minded people to join us. So if you're interested in a long-term employment opportunity, come in and see any of our Team 1 dealerships for more information. So check us out now and apply online at team1connect.com.
Many thanks to our friends over at Cutter's Pizza and Wings. They fed us tonight, and they have done the entire season so far. Thank them so much. There's 2 locations to serve you, Oxford and Alexandria. Go visit Cutter's. It's very, very quality food over there, and thank them so much, not only for feeding our crew, but sponsoring us here tonight on the Pigskin Roundup this evening and every night. Oxford, Alexandria, go visit our friends. Meanwhile, we have a few more games we want to highlight and get you those highlights of, and saw all the scores earlier. One of the scores you saw is one of the highlights that we'll pass along this way. Jacksonville and Munford. This is a really good matchup over in the Munford area. It's a really big-time region as well, a very competitive region. We'll send you over there to Lion Stadium as Munford and Jacksonville hooked up tonight. It's a big region game, as we said. It's really important, I think, for both teams to kind of get off on a good footing, and that's exactly what we got from both of these football teams early on in this game over in the Talladega County area. It's the 2 teams, obviously, that know each other very well. Jacksonville on the board first. It is Taj Morse who gets it in for the touchdown early on, an early 7-0 lead. Jacksonville continues to dominate. Jim Ogle to Taj Morris, his second touchdown of the day, extra point good, 14-0. Meanwhile, this Dakota Frank field goal puts Munford on the scoreboard, now 14-3. Jacksonville answers right back. Nice pass. Ogle to Jacoby Zachary. That's to the house. Extra point good. Now it's 21-3 at this point. The ensuing kickoff by Munford. A very nice run here. Watch the blocking as he cuts it back up the field and into Jacksonville territory. Meanwhile, Munford, though, could not get the answer. Watch great defense here in the end zone by the Jacksonville secondary. It keeps that score at 21-3 at the half, and Jacksonville will continue to go on and win. The final score in that one, 35-12. So the Golden Eagles get a nice win on the road at Munford. A big win today and a very tough place to play, 35-12 over the Lions. Well, we also want to highlight the fact that we had very special nights tonight. You know, over the last couple of years, what we've seen is really early celebrations. We've seen early senior nights just in case. Saw that a little bit earlier this year. We also have had early homecomings. That was another case over at Oxford High School and the Oxford community. And this community really does homecoming right. I know you've been to several parades. They really celebrate fall and football season the right way.
They absolutely do. This was my first Oxford homecoming parade yesterday, and it was really exciting to see all the little kids from the community. So excited to see the cheerleaders, the football players, the band. Everybody was throwing out candy from their floats. And everyone was really enjoying the night.
Exactly. Coaches, I know, always, they like homecoming and hate homecoming because there can be several distractions because you have everything, as you said, going on.
There's dress-up days.
Exactly.
You've got a lot to do.
And every day's got a theme, and there's a lot of things that you can be distracted by. Coaches just love to get to Friday and love to get the W, and that's exactly what Oxford did tonight. They got the big win over Pell City tonight, and you know these two. How about this? Buckethead and the King. How about the Grand Marshals of the parade? I love it. I love it. You'll see these two gentlemen coming up right after our program tonight. Keep it right here on TV24 and WOTM. Look at it. Generous with the candy right there. It's a good shot by our crew. It's our good buddy Amato Ortiz right there as well. The Oxford community really doing a good job for homecoming. The football team also doing a good job for homecoming. And also congratulations to the homecoming queen, who you saw a little bit earlier in our Oxford football highlights, Miss Nia Twyman. So Nia Twyman, homecoming queen. Our Grand Marshals, Buckethead and the King were involved. Sam Adams, the head coach of the Oxford Yellow Jackets, on with us tonight. His team gets the big W. Lots of smiles in Oxford.
Lots of smiles in Oxford, and a lot to be excited for if you're an Oxford Yellow Jacket.
Exactly. Got the big win tonight and a big game next week against a rival in Gadsden City. You'll see that game right here next Thursday night on WOTM and TV24. Well, coming up next here on Pigskin Roundup, we'll close out our program with more next.
If you need a new vehicle and think you can't get financing, Team One can help. If you make $350 a week, Team One can finance you. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, Team One can finance you. Log on, driveteam1.com. What's in your driveway?
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been dedicated to our customers and excellence in all areas. With constant improvements to our facilities, to adding new products and services to better serve you, our team is fully engaged in all the communities we serve. First Bank of Alabama knows that time is money, so we offer hometown services with advanced technology that allows you to bank on your own schedule. We want to be your community bank, so stop by. Come see us at First Bank of Alabama, where you're always first.
Right now at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor, the keyword is free. Buy any type of flooring at Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor and we'll install it absolutely free. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, or vinyl, get it professionally installed absolutely free. Why pay to have your new floor installed when you can have it installed absolutely free and get 0% financing for an entire year? That's right, free interest for an entire year and free installation. That's Ted's Abbey Carpet and Floor's free installation sale going on right now.
Hey guys, you drive a truck? At Team One, we got trucks. Colorado, Silverado, Ram, Tacoma, Tundra, and the all-new Titan. Log on, DriveTeam1.com. What's in your driveway?
Closing segment here on Pigskin Roundup, brought to you by Team 1 Automotive. We are glad to be joined by Mark Everett Kelly. He made the longest trip out of all of our crew, went all the way down to Roanoke to watch the #1 team in the state, Handley, take on Cleveland County, a really good football team on fire this season. Mark, all the way down to Roanoke, they played a really tough football team and a really good game between these two teams.
It was a good test for Cleveland County to see exactly where they were getting to play the Region 4 defending champs.
Exactly. Let's go straight through those highlights from the Roanoke area. And Mark, you saw a good one early on.
Defending 4 region champs, Hadley looking to continue their long win streak in the region. 9 straight. Last loss, October 19th, 2018 at Lincoln. Won 4 straight against Cleveland County here. First possession of the game, they fumble. Handley fumbles here. Third down, Montavious Meadows loses the ball, recovered by Watley, Alexander Watley. This leads to Cleveland County trying to run the ball here, could not do it. Devontae Cantrell was stuffed on third down. Now 4th down, they go for it. Bad snap. McGrin cannot handle it. It takes and wind up giving the ball up on downs here. Once again, they did not run the ball, Cleveland County, in the first half. Only 20 yards for Cantrell on 11 carries. Here, number 2, Meadows breaks away for a 65-yard touchdown run. This leads to a 6-0 lead for Handley. On the next possession here, you see on 2nd and 10, McGrin looking for wide receiver Bo Clay was intercepted by. McGrin just did not pass the ball well today. Jamariquai Lewis intercepted that ball. This leads to, once again, Meadows on a long run, this time at 3rd and 5, 38 yards. Later in the drive now on 4th down, 4th and 5, Meadows again. These 2 runs set up a 7-yard touchdown pass from Fettner to Amadra Williams for 12-0 Handley lead. Here on 4th down, once again, McGrin is stopped. This leads to Feltner on 3rd run, extending for a 3-yard TD here. 20-0 Handley at the half, winds up winning 26-7.
It's a really good football team from Cleveland County. It's a team I know that you have followed over the first couple of weeks of the season. A tough loss, and I think that they will want this Handley team if they can get them a little bit later on in the playoffs, but it's the #1 team in the state winning tonight. Handley getting the victory. Anna Catherine Alderman, Mark Everett Kelly, thank you so much for our entire hard-working crew. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Pigskin Roundup. We will have high school football prime time with a couple of celebrities, Buckethead and the King, coming up next here.
No hands up. Oh, sorry. How about that?
Hey, y'all pop that collar.
Hi folks, Angie Stevens here. Did you know that Team 1 Automotive employs more families than any other dealership in Northeast Alabama? We're proud to be the leader in serving this area